check, 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 check.
Check, check, check.
Dale.
Check, check, check.
No, please, Dale. I'm begging you.
Check, check.
Jeremy's doing all the checking.
Paul, check.
Yeah, check.
All right, today we're gonna film a video for you with a little more detail on bag 3.1 and 3.2 of your turbo kit. How do you clock the turbo with this special clock bracket that we've provided you? And something we've discovered is this spring that we're gonna put on the wastegate dash pot. So, Paul, what would you say this spring is helping us do right here?
It reduces our boost overall.
So we found that we really wanna keep it 8, 9, 10 PSI of boost. And maybe you experience a little of what's called boost creep, or this little helper spring is actually helping push this wastegate open so that it will only go up to 8, 9, 10 pounds. So we're gonna install this spring for you right now. Let's do this. First, you're gonna take this little clip off, and I'll do it on my side and then I'll flip it over to you. Pops right off, see that? See how that clipped off? Slide it off. This is your wastegate actuator. See that little door? So you're going to take this little 10 millimeter nut. I already loosened it with this 10 millimeter wrench. And then you're going to just spin this thing off. And then we're going to take these two little nuts off. And then we're going to clock the turbo. And we're going to put the spring back on. So here we go. Now, if you want to be really trick, you can actually cut these ears off and trim this so that this is not having this little tab hanging off of your turbo, but you can cut that off because it's not going to be used anymore. That looks cool. I'm going to go get the vacuum pump and we're going to show them how this works. So let's hook the vacuum pump up to the wastegate dash pot, and uh-oh, I've got it on blow. Ah! She's gone from suck to blow. Hang on, we gotta flip this.
Spaceball 1 has now become Mega Maid. Good.
There we go. Now it's pulling vacuum. Oh, let's go to blow. She's gone from suck to blow. We need blow. Hang on.
Yeah, we need blow.
It's Mega Maid. She's gone from suck to blow. What?
There. Now you see this moving? See the actuator? That's about 10 pounds.
Do that again so we can see it.
Sure. Okay, you ready? I'm gonna take it up to 10. There's 10 PSI. Now watch, ready? Voila. All right, Paul, show him what you're doing here. Now, what he's gonna do is remove the oil inlet restrictor, or this one, and we're going to install from bag 3.2 the new restrictor. So go ahead, Paul, show them how you do that.
Okay.
And he's using an open-end wrench because sometimes you won't be able to get a socket on it. So I'm going to open bag 3.2. Ready? And show them what you're going to do.
And we're going to put this in.
Show them the washer.
And this you're going to use the washer, and this is restricted. You see the very little hole there.
Can you see the difference?
And the other one's got a great big hole. We need to reduce the amount of oil that's flowing into this turbo.
Yeah.
And that's what
So
that's
put the
about.
restrictor in there. It's important. And then once Paul gets that restrictor in, we're going to go to the oil pressure drain. As you can see, Paul's getting that good and tight, and he used a 5/8. That was a 5/8 wrench. Okay. Now we're going to put the oil drain on. Now, if you didn't get a gasket in your kit, that's okay. You can just use red RTV silicone here. It's just a drain. There's no pressure. Okay. And that's going to go right here. You see this? The gasket, the fitting, and we're just going to bolt that on. So here, go ahead, Paul.
Okay.
Maybe you could incorporate the heavy breathing
Yeah. That's right. There we go.
Okay, so now the oil drain's on, the oil restrictor's on, we've removed the wastegate dash pot. Now we're going to clock the turbo and we're going to put the dash pot back on with the spring. Okay, let's do it.
Okay. So the first thing to do, you really need to bust all these loose. So you can move this thing around a bit. And they're not very tight.
Is that 10 millimeters?
It's 10 millimeter, and these could strip out easily. You just need to nip them. They don't need to be super tight. So I'm loosening, basically I'm not going to take the turbo apart. I'm just loosening everything up. Oops. Could have saved them all this time. There we go. Now let's show them how this will twist. Mm-hmm. So easy that moves.
Yeah.
So we can rotate the center, both hot side and the cold side, any way we want it at this point. So why don't we take you over to the car and show you how this needs to sit.
Yep, come on. Come over here, Keith. Come this way.
And let me get it sort of right. See how this comes up against that? So I need to go the other way. You can show them what we've done.
All right, so here we go. We're just going to temporarily set the turbo in place so that we can get an idea of how long this oil drain hose needs to be. Now we cut this to roughly 4.5 inches. So that's a 4.5 inch hose. Paul took off, we give you extra. So if
Took off
at,
inch and a half.
yeah, if at this point, I want you to inspect the clutch slave and clutch hose, because if it looks suspect, now's your chance to replace it, because once the turbo goes into place, well, you're gonna have to pull the turbo out to replace your clutch slave and hose, so why not do it now? All right, cheap, so do it. All right, Paul, go ahead and set it in there, and he's just gonna go ahead and slip the oil drain hose on and make sure that we don't have it kinked and that it's a nice arc, it's got a good shape to it, and that is actually where the turbo is going to sit. So once you get an idea of where you're gonna clock it, go ahead and pull it back off. Let's go to the bench and let's put the clocking bracket on.
Okay.
As you can see, in bag 3.1, you get your hose and your clocking bracket. So Paul's gonna go ahead and put the clocking bracket on now, and let's do it.
Okay. This bracket is adjustable, so if you do clock your turbo differently, you have a different install, it's really easy to put wherever you need it. You just slide it back and forth and nip it down.
All right, so what you can see here is that Paul's now got the clocking bracket on, and he's attached the vacuum pot back on, and now he's gonna put a washer on, a spring, another washer, like so. You gotta hold it on, put your nut on, and then we'll show you how to adjust the push rod. So, where's the push rod? Here it is. So we're gonna put this on now, all right? Paul, go ahead and show
Let's
him.
wind this in
Yep.
first.
Now, how much tension do you want on this door? See this little flap door?
We want to have to move this about a 1/16 before it pops on.
So go ahead and,
We want that shut.
So you can see here, it's shut there,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So we're gonna thread it on and show you how much pressure we want on that little door, okay? So here we go.
Go ahead and screw it on.
All right, so that looks like a little much, maybe
a little
maybe
much.
one more turn.
Yeah, quite a bit more. Yeah,
Quite a bit
just wanna
more.
Just nip it shut. Just a little tension,
Oh,
and that puts you right at about
Okay.
6 to 8 pounds of
See,
boost.
see that? So I'm pulling, can you see how much tension? That's almost flush. I'm pulling on it just a little bit. Boom. There's the tension. So it's got tension on it. I'm going to run this jam nut back up to the rod and lock it in place. And then we got, don't forget this little guy. See the C-clip? I'm going to stick that on there, so we're almost there. Nip that. Put this clip on. Boom. There you go.
Done.
Done. Since we're here, we might as well go ahead and show you the last bits. This is a vacuum plug port. We need to put it right here so that you can fit the large K&N air filter on. It really is important, guys, to have...
It's going, the plug's going there.
Yeah, I know.
Make sure it's drilled.
Yeah.
We found a couple of those they didn't drill.
We did find a couple of them where this little port wasn't drilled, and we're like, what the heck is going on? We finally figured it out. So I pulled that off on purpose because I want you to inspect that and make sure there's a hole in there, and then you're going to put it back on. But we're going to go ahead and take this off, and we're going to put that plug in there so that we can get the large K&N air filter on, all right? Don't put a small air cleaner on. Sometimes it looks better to have a really tiny little maybe cone air filter on there or something. We have found they want to breathe. So it's kind of important to have a really big air cleaner on there. The bigger, the better, right?
Yeah, very true.
All right, so I'll go ahead and nip that down and put this back on. And then we're about ready for our...
We give
That
you, we
does
give
come
you
on.
another line.
Yeah. And just so you know, you are going to have a few parts left over. Don't freak out. These are the parts you took off. And, well, this is from the clocking bracket. This is from your oil pressure reducer. And this is from the air filter relocate. So it's okay. You got a few parts left over. All right. So there you go. See you on the next one.